Good morning, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Kathy Odell, and I'm the CEO of Women's Economic Ventures. We were thrilled to see so many people sign up for our first virtual Empowerment is Priceless event. Some of you are brand new to WEV, and we're so pleased that you've joined us today. Many others of you have been long-term partners, clients, volunteers, and supporters. You are the reason that WEV has remained a strong organization this year, and we are honored to have all of you here with us today. I'd like to thank our event sponsors for investing so generously in WEV. Our empowerment level sponsor is LinkedIn Learning. Our innovation level sponsors are American Riviera Bank, Coast General Insurance Brokers, the County of Ventura, JP Morgan Chase, La Arcata, Pacific Western Bank, and Ventura County Credit Union. Our thriving level sponsors are Banks Coaching, Boone Graphics, California Statewide CDC, Seasons Catering, and NewsHawk. Thank you all for your support. Thank you also to our incredible host committee who have helped introduce so many of you to WEV today. And thank you to WEV's League of Extraordinary Women and Men, whose multi-year support helps WEV empower local business women and minorities. We appreciate you and your leadership. This morning you will be hearing from an inspiring female trailblazer, and of course from WEV's founder, Marsha Bailey, a trailblazer in her own right. I'll be sharing our vision for what's next for WEV. Hopefully you saw some of the quotes from clients before the event started this morning. It's always a highlight when we hear from clients directly about their experiences. We miss having clients at tables with you today, but we're pleased to share with you a video featuring 5 WEV clients who are at very different stages of their entrepreneurial journeys. Hear how they have navigated this uniquely challenging year. Enjoy, and we'll see you again a little later. Empowerment, an 11-letter word that may be one of the most hopeful, aspirational words in the English language. Empowerment is defined as the process of becoming stronger and more confident in control of one's life. Empowerment is a process, but also a journey, and like most journeys, it is best accomplished with a guide.
My husband started Mesa Produce in 1988 on the idea of bringing produce direct from the farm, because back in '88, that was something that didn't happen regularly. There was always a supply chain of some sort. My husband passed away in 2016, so I slowly started taking over when my husband fell ill, and within a few years I was the main show, and so it was kind of eased into the operations and took it over and just ran with it. So that's how we're here. WEV did huge things for me. I could work produce. I knew how to manage a store. I know how to stock shelves. I know how to find produce and bring it to the public. I didn't know how to fill out a loan application. I did not know how to apply in a reasonable way to purchase the land that I was purchasing for my farm. With all of the previous disasters we had the fires, we had the floods, we had freeway closures. Business was rough. Understatement, business was rough. We weren't making any money. I had just bought the farm. I didn't have extra capital to work with. I was being turned down for loans. It was amazingly stressful. They gave me a small grant, which was a huge grant for me. It paid my payroll for a month and got me past that hump of the really bad times of when the freeways were closed, when we weren't able to open our doors because the air quality was so poor and we just weren't able to operate at all. They teach you more of strategizing, a proper way to advertise your business. Thinking outside the box was a huge course. The business resiliency taught me then we'll find another way. Don't just quit because that quit. If you're the business owner, it's your responsibility to find another way. And in the beginning, when business was crazy, when all the panic really set in and the shelves were going down so fast, and it was my ability to bring in stuff faster and quicker. And the customers were saying right away, oh, I come here and I feel so much better. You've got everything I need. I go to another store, everything's empty, it's a panic, it's a free-for-all. I come here, it's just Mesa Produce. We started up home deliveries. We're doing curbside service. We expanded into another location in Montecito. We have another little storefront opening up there. Everything changed. That was one of the things about thinking outside of the box with the program I took was, okay, we can get all these customers in, but now how do we keep them? And that was when we decided to just change the way we operate and get those people in and keep them coming in.
My last project was about breastfeeding and mothers. Making a documentary with very few resources and limited staff is very challenging, but what kept me going is knowing that these women were on the other end waiting for this content and telling me how excited they were to see the final product, and that's what motivated me to keep pushing forward. And then when I was able to screen the content for them and see how appreciative and excited they were to see themselves reflected on the screen, that was really inspiring for me. I learned about women's economic ventures at the beginning of this year, at the start of the outbreak, when I was looking for funding opportunities for small businesses that were dealing with COVID-19 and the close of business. And there was an application on SBA, the Small Business Association's website, and there were organizations that they listed that would help you apply to some of those resources, and WEV was listed. And I saw the words women and economics and Santa Barbara, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I called, and I was interested in business coaching. I initially thought that I was going to learn how to make lots of spreadsheets with lots of forecasting and data, and we did, but it was a much simpler, accessible version of that. One of the things that was really interesting was the market research. They showed us how to do a kind of back of the envelope analysis of your market and how many resources are available in that market and how many potential spending dollars there might be in that market. And I was able to do like a cross analysis to identify that there's $2.6 billion of funding for people like myself. And I just need like a small portion of that. And it actually gave me a lot of confidence in drafting my proposals and not shortchanging my budgets when I submit my projects, because I know like, no, the resources are out there. So that was really fun. And it allowed me to speak more knowledgeably and with more confidence. And so that's the biggest thing I got out of it. The number one thing is that it made me feel confident that my budget could actually get funded. And then also it helped me segment with a very narrow focus who my market is, so I'm not just kind of like shooting proposals off at the wrong folks. I feel more like a business person now and as a result of the program.
We got involved with the Live Plan pilot program, and that taught us to make a business plan for the EcoStore, and it really helped me to understand business from an owner's perspective as well as an investor's perspective. And it gave me the ability to see what our business could become and plan for the future. I'm also involved with the one-on-one QuickBooks counseling, and that has just been amazing godsend for us because I've been doing books for 15 years without really understanding or knowing how best to do it. And this is my chance to be able to talk to somebody who can actually answer the questions I have that are specific. So it's been an overall blessing to us. I am very thankful to be a part of the WEV community. It is so nice to have this kind of support and training for small businesses, and it really feels like it's connecting small businesses in my area. And I love to be able to know, hey, there's other people out there that are going through some of these same struggles, but also to learn from other people and their experiences, and also some of the most knowledgeable people in my area that I would never have had the chance to meet or know. Being a woman in business is different than it is for a man. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way at all. I just see it as a different kind of a challenge. And I think that what I've seen WEV do is really help women be that presence, to have the skills that they need to compete in what is the world, to have that opportunity.
I just started the business a few years before this. I was doing okay, but I never had any actual business experience prior to this. And one incident convinced me that I really should really look into Women's Economic Venture and take advantage of the opportunity they offered. I've had pretty good luck with clients. I had pretty good luck with the community, I mean, overall. But the technical part of the business was something that I was just making up as I went along. And after that day, I was like, okay, I need a little help. I talked to WEV about it. I actually mentioned the incident to them, and they're like, yeah, we can help you. Little bit by little, I started building the company. When I actually started with WEV and their program, they helped me make realistic goals. Every time I met one, I felt a little more empowered. Like I felt I could do things, not just for myself and for my family, but for the community and all. I've gained a lot from the WEV community, not just personally in the business, but I've grown in a lot of ways because of them. My business has matured. We don't always have the economic resource that some of the bigger businesses have. We just don't. And WEV provides that support. Their whole community, their whole organization is geared towards helping smaller businesses like mine not just develop, but succeed, which is, in my opinion, so much better. It was just incredible to me that somebody actually supported my little tiny business that I started with $20, a borrowed phone, and a donated computer from someone. It just showed me how far I'd gotten from the time that I started in the beginning to the point where I went to WEV. And I wish I would have gone to them long before, that little hiccup in my business.
Being a business owner or entrepreneur was never in my mind. I had never planned it. I do not come from a family of entrepreneurs. But really what prompted me into starting this business was having the need to make money. When I started my business, the year before, I had lost my job and my husband had lost his job. But at my last job, they told me, you're really good at this. You should probably start your own business. And when they said that, it sparked something. I said, I feel that I could do very well in this business. I just need some guidance, or I need some support, something that tells me what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, how I could do it different, how I could apply different things. And I had never heard of WEVs. I showed up to the orientation, the set class, that's what I started. So at the beginning of that class, I had 11 clients at that time. And from that's where I learned all the basics of how to start your own business, how to make it grow, to being not just self-employed, but to maybe, creating a business. By the end of the set of my class, I had 28 clients. Every time I would go to class, I would apply what I learned and it would start working. One of the things that I learned at the set class, at the self-employment training, right at the beginning, there were two things. They told us to describe success. And so for me, success was to do anything you want, whenever you want it, however you want it. And then the other thing that I heard that always stuck with me was, do you want to have a job or do you want to have a business? They described the difference between having a job and having a business. So I said, I want a business, I don't want a job. In 2018, my husband had an accident at work. He fractured his back and he could not move. That was a very difficult time because I had to step away from work. However, that's when I was so happy to see that I had a business that did not collapse or did not end because I had to step away. That was to me one of the proofs that, I had built a business that could continue, providing not just for my family, but for my employees. We are no longer just myself. We are actually a team of 8. I believe we've empowered many women to start their careers and go and pursue what they really like and what they really, love doing.
Hi, I'm Marnie Brooke, Director of Lending with Women's Economic Ventures. I hope you've been inspired by the stories that you heard from our hardworking and resilient entrepreneurs in today's video. I know that I have been and continue to be every day. So this year has truly been an incredible example of people coming together in adversity to support one another, even when we literally have to stay apart. So many individuals, organizations, and others have stepped up to partner with WEV to help us help our clients navigate COVID-19. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing a very special member of that community, an individual who is known to be one of the most committed, hardest working volunteers around. Each year, the WEV Trailblazer Award honors a successful businesswoman who has really shown us the way. Trailblazers are successful businesswomen, role models, and philanthropists who remind us all the time about what is possible. Brenda Allison is the CEO of Coast General Insurance Brokers. She is an incredibly inspiring business leader and a tireless volunteer for her community. When Brenda volunteers, she does it in a big way. Brenda is on the executive committee and chairs the Human Resources Committee for Casa Pacifica and is on the supervisory committee for Ventura County Credit Union. She has volunteered for numerous other organizations in the past, including WEV, and always gives 110% of her heart and soul to each one. Brenda is truly an asset to our region and reminds us what talented women business leaders can do to help us manage through and come out better when we are faced with difficult situations. She is a wonderful mother to her 3 children and is committed to her family. Brenda is the real deal, the whole picture. Brenda, I have always admired you, and it is therefore my honor to introduce you as the 2020 WEV Trailblazer.
Thank you to WEV's Board of Directors, Selection Committee, and leadership for this honor. Thank you to Kathy Odell and WEV's founder, Marcia Bailey. Both have blazed the trails where many of us now strut. I want to thank my incredible core team at Coast General Insurance Brokers, including Leah Vitier-Campillo, Adonis Vitier-Campillo, our rock Gina Chisani, and our queen of everything, Angelina Lopez. These brokers, along with everyone else in the team, are intelligent, ethical, and genuinely dedicated to the growth of the company while supporting everyone in the organization. I never thought I would be an entrepreneur. First, I did not know I could sell anything someone would buy. Second, I'm a risk-averse person. In one WEV moment, everything changed. I was attending the graduation for the WEV Smart Entrepreneur Training. Each graduate had an inspirational story. Then an older Spanish-speaking woman took to the stage to accept her graduation certificate. Her 21-year-old grandson was by her side. So her tamales were so good, people would buy them. And she set out to figure out how to turn it into a viable business. Since she had no formal education, her grandson volunteered to take the WEV course with her. Her courage and journey moved me. She focused on her strengths and enlisted resources around her to overcome the challenges. I wanted to be her. 5 months later, I launched my own business. September marked my 15th anniversary. It hasn't always been an easy path, but I'm proud to have built Coast General Insurance Brokers into our strong team of 10. Over the years, being an entrepreneur has given me the security to take care of my family financially and the flexibility to be present for important moments. My daughters were 3 and 5 when I started my business. I volunteered in their classroom, never missed a performance or meet, and was home for dinner every night. But dropping my oldest off at the prestigious Boston University in August is probably one of the highlights of my life. Being an entrepreneur has also made me more open-minded. Some of my most successful clients speak with a heavy European, Latin American, or Asian accent. Imagine the absurdity of prejudging someone's capabilities, intelligence, or worth based on the color of their skin or accent. There were times when being a female of Cuban descent might have hindered my progress. But I've learned that our differences make our community vibrant and should be celebrated. When I lean into my community, I find strength. So I founded a Cuban culture club in Ventura County and volunteered with Women's Economic Ventures. I got here with the help of those who gave me advice, gave me an opportunity, and believed that we are all better together. I give my time and financial resources to organizations that are blazing trails locally and globally. I have had the honor to support organizations like Casa Pacifica, Rotary, and our beloved WEV. I encourage everyone to find organizations doing great work and to get involved, deeply involved. If you can give your time, talents, or treasures to nonprofits, you will most likely find that you will gain far more than you give. I know I always have. It feels as though I have come full circle by being recognized by the organization that helped ignite my entrepreneurship dreams. It means so much. Thank you again to WEV and my family and to everyone who has been part of this journey with me.
Congratulations, Brenda. You are remarkable and a real treasure in our community. We are fortunate to have had you as a volunteer and supporter over the years. Thank you. In 1991, the idea that women's economic status could be improved by helping them start their own businesses was both innovative and unproven. Now, 30 years later, we have proven that business ownership can provide a viable pathway out of poverty, build family wealth and stability, and contribute to the well-being of our communities. During the past 3 decades, nearly 5,000 women have started or expanded small businesses after receiving help from WEV. Women have grown to depend upon WEV, not only to learn how to write a business plan or secure a loan, but to find a community that encourages and supports them in their personal and business growth. I am extremely honored to have the opportunity to lead WEV as we envision a new and expanded generation of services to serve the needs of women in this rapidly changing world. To address the pace of change, WEV has recognized that it's time to rethink and refresh the way we deliver our services. WEV cannot remain relevant if we're a brick-and-mortar department store in an Amazon world. So last year, WEV's board and staff worked to design a new plan for how we can more effectively serve women in our community. We agreed on 5 strategic initiatives. There's nothing quite like a pandemic to jumpstart change. We expected to thoughtfully and methodically develop new programs and revise the delivery model for our existing ones over a period of 1 to 2 years. Instead, we've been shot out of a cannon, forced to implement major changes in a matter of days, not years. We are extremely proud of the extraordinary efforts of our staff who responded quickly to meet the urgent needs of our clients. In 4 months, WEV's small loan team of 3 processes 177 loan applications and dispersed 67 loans totaling more than $527,000, helped 40 borrowers secure PPP loans, and screened more than 2,700 applications for Ventura County's Small Business Grant Program. For the first time in our history, WEV is on track to make $1 million of loans in a single year to local businesses unable to get bank loans. Achieving that goal will bring the total amount of capital WEV has infused into the small business community to over $7 million. We have converted all of our in-progress training and consulting programs in less than 5 days, moving over 100 clients from in-person to online classes. We began providing free WEV work webinars in both Spanish and English to address business owners' most urgent questions and concerns in dealing with the pandemic. Since March, WEV has hosted 21 webinars with over 700 participants. WEV interns interviewed a record 303 clients this summer in our annual outcomes survey, with a focus on how clients were coping with the pandemic and what support they will need over the coming year. The data is helping us to plan the next stage of our pandemic response. WEV's year-end client celebration is being converted from a one-day in-person shopping event to an online shop local 26-day event featuring a virtual marketplace of WEV client products curated by product type, gift category, and price range. Shopping starts November 17th, so be sure to get your gifts early. If 2020 has taught us anything, it's that we cannot predict the future. What we can assure you is that whatever that future brings, WEV will be here to help navigate it with you.
Empowerment to me means having enough information to make informed decisions, and with a lot of confidence. I think I'm pushing innovative ideas that actually aren't so new, but people don't always think to apply them in this way. And I'm really proud that I can command budgets and get grants and employ my peers. Like, that's really exciting too. Like, there's no freebies in my projects. Everyone's getting compensated for their work, and that's really gratifying too.
Empowerment means to me giving someone the tools they need to succeed. And that is such a huge part of what we do here at the Eco Store. We want to empower people to make positive choices and positive changes. And WEV has helped me to be empowered to be a better small business owner, but also to be a better member of the amazing team that we have. I'm just one part of our team at the Eco Store, and I'm thankful that I can bring more to the table because of what I've learned.
WEV having their doors open has let me have my doors open to help my clients. But there's just something different when there's an organization standing behind you and saying, hey, you know what? We believe you can do it. Thankfully, I have their support. I have WEV support.
Confidence is key for success. And one of the things they teach you is to be more confident in yourself.
So WEV empowered me to be able to go after what I wanted or what I needed. I think at first it was out of need, right? That WEV empowered me to say, it's okay. WEV empowered me to say, it's okay and it could be better. And it's going to be okay and it's going to be better. That is what WEV means to me. Understanding that there's a need and going out and servicing that need.
And now, it is my pleasure to introduce Marsha Bailey, WEV's founder, visionary leader, and an inspiration to so many of us.
Early in my career, people often ask me why I chose to work in the nonprofit sector. Because I want to change the world, I'd say. That's a lofty goal, some answered, and I wasn't sure exactly what they meant by that. Did they think I was being foolish, grandiose? That I should set my sights lower? Was I supposed to limit my ambition to rearranging the furniture? Once, when I was at that stage of life, when my parents were eager to know when I was going to get a real job, I mentioned that I'd like to be a literary critic. Their immediate reaction was, "Oh, that's too hard. You should do something easier." This is where I remind you that my mother thought I should be a dental hygienist. My parents were well-meaning, but growing up during the Depression taught them to avoid taking risks. When someone says, "No, you can't," my default reaction is, "I'll show you." I grew up arguing with my dad at the dinner table. The only way he could have the last word was to order me to stop talking. "Not another word," he'd thunder. But I can't tell you how many of my final arguments started and ended with that word, "but." I'm one of those people who believes that if someone doesn't agree with me, it must be because I failed to explain my point of view properly. Just give me one more chance. As annoying as that quality must have been to my parents, it's probably the main reason we're all here today, celebrating an organization that has been a labor of love for me and for so many visionary people over the past 30 years. Every parent knows how eagerly we anticipate our baby's first words. We can't wait for them to gurgle our names, to be able to tell us why they are crying. Are they hungry, wet, sick, bored? Tell us, please. And once they learn to speak, there commences a brief period of time when their communication is totally uninhibited. We welcome every word as if it were a great gift, proof of our childbearing superiority. But kids do say the darndest things. And then we start shushing them and telling them they shouldn't say that because it embarrasses mommy or daddy or grandpa. And we teach them to keep their voices down, to be silent. Each of us has a voice, yet too many of us are afraid to use it. We know how to speak, but we fail to speak up. We fail to express our opinion when it might make someone uncomfortable. We avoid speaking truth to power because we are afraid there might be repercussions. We refuse to say what we want, and then we are disappointed when we don't get it. What do women want? I wonder how many times that question has been asked and answered over the millennia. How many times the answer has gone unheeded? Because it's really not a mystery. I can't speak for all women, but I can speak for myself. I want the same opportunities as my brother. For me, the economic empowerment of women has always been about freedom, choices, and the opportunity to lead and shape our world into a place that welcomes, nurtures, and encourages every single one of us. A place where the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. In a democracy, your voice cannot be taken from you. You can only give it away. If you give up your voice by not using it, you give up your power. Two themes have been at the heart of our work at WEV: economic equity and empowerment. I believe that income inequality and lack of opportunity are the most profound social challenges we face as a nation. We must learn that opportunity is not a zero-sum equation. In fact, it is the opposite. The more opportunity we provide, the more opportunities we create. Opportunity creates hope. Hope that we can achieve a better life for ourselves and our families than we've experienced, or perhaps even imagined. Hope is the essence of our humanity. Without it, we become unglued as individuals and as a society. Since 1991, I've been privileged to be part of an extraordinary community of women and men, staff, board, volunteers, and donors, all of whom are committed to creating an equitable and just society through the economic empowerment of women. I consider myself truly blessed to have found a life's work and a personal mission that I feel as passionate about today as I did more than 3 decades ago. And yes, we have made progress. But clearly, the events of 2020 have shown us how far we have yet to go in achieving that just and equitable society. The playing field is not yet level, either for women or for people who are Black or brown or poor or simply judged to be different. I suspect that many of you who are watching today share a trait with me, the one that defies anyone who says you can't do something. I'll show you. I know Kathy Odell has it, I know Brenda, Allison, and every member of our board and staff has it. That's why I'm so confident in WEV's capacity to grow and change to meet the challenges of the future. I'm so grateful to the extraordinary women and men who have contributed to WEV's success through your financial support over the years, some from the very beginning. You are the ones who helped me sleep at night and get up the next morning with the confidence to face whatever unexpected challenge might come hurtling out of left field that day. At WEV, we believe that when we work together to create opportunities and prosperity for all, we become a community of engaged stakeholders that can define common goals and achieve uncommon ends. Today is the last time I will participate in WEV's annual event as a member of her staff. As WEV's founder and as a lifelong supporter, I'm asking you to become one of those engaged stakeholders. I'm asking you to join WEV's League of Extraordinary Women. I know it's a big ask, $1,000 or more a year for 3 years, and I wouldn't ask you to make such a commitment if I hadn't already made it myself. To those who can give more, I ask that you do. And if you can't make a gift of that size, please know that we are deeply grateful for whatever contribution you can make. Please give it a level that is meaningful for you personally. So here's what I've learned in my 3 decades with WEV. Changing the world is both a lofty and a worthy goal, but it is not something you do alone. Singly, we can shout and hope our voices heard above the fray, but together we roar. Our collective voices cannot, will not be silenced or ignored. And here's what I hope. I hope that my work has made a lasting difference. I hope that I've helped other women find their voices and their power. And above all, I hope that together we will change the world.
Thank you, Marcia. You are truly incredible, and you have certainly made a lasting difference for thousands of women. Thank you. This is the 15th time we've held Empowerment is Priceless. It's become our biggest fundraiser of the year, providing us with critically needed operating funds. Our goal this year is to raise more than $200,000. That goal was set even before we had to develop our COVID response. The need is now greater than ever, but the good news is that thanks to early support from sponsors and donors like you, we have already raised almost $100,000 towards that goal. This morning, with your support, we hope to raise the remaining $100,000. One of our League members approached us a few weeks ago and asked how she could help us meet our fundraising goal. Thanks to her initiative, a group of donors from our League of Extraordinary Women has contributed $20,000 as a match to your League donation today. We thank you for joining us this morning. We hope that you have been inspired to become a part of our WEVE community.